Hello and welcome to the channel. Well, today we'll be looking at the three Wonder Women in my collection, and let's move in close. And that's Gal Gadot, and that figure was featured in the film Shazam! Fury of the Gods. And on the left hand side, that is a Todd McFarlane design. I think it's like a winter Wonder Woman. I like that figure. I've had her for some time. And on the right we've got this figure, also a design of Todd McFarlane's. Now I've seen them being reviewed, all of these figures, and they're being criticised to some degree. Overall they're liked, but they're being criticised. But for me personally, especially when I got them at the price I did, I really do like these figures. But the way you're looking at them now is my own kind of personal custom take on them. For instance, this figure has the katana sword of my Bloodsport figure, played by the actor Idris Elba. And I tried it out as an experiment and it did work, and I kind of like this look she has. And the sword she normally has is now with my Gal Gadot Wonder Woman, because all she came with was the lassos, one which you can see there hooked onto the belt, and the other one is with this Wonder Woman, who comes with a shield and a big sword, and the shield is now attached on that figure. So you're looking at them as they are now, but I'm going to put them back into their original formats just to show you what that looks like. Now I was going to put them back into their original formats, but I wanted to tackle this issue first. I was on the internet looking at reviews of this figure, and she got a lot of criticism off a guy I'm subscribed to. I think he's really good actually. He makes some honest and forthright comparisons and opinions on different figures, and this one he kind of gave it a 6 out of 10, which I thought was a bit harsh, mainly because of things like ball joints and things like that, or the face sculpt wasn't much like hers. So I'm going to address that now. So I'm going to come in close. And in my opinion, I do think that looks like the actress, and that is one of the stronger releases by Todd McFarlane. But the other thing he was going on about was that tiara. He's saying, what's the point of that tiara? You can't even get it on the head. Well, you can. Do you know what I mean? He even thought about cutting it back a little bit and then gluing the actual tiara onto the forehead, which defeats the whole object of it, because I think the reason Todd McFarlane did it this way is that you can pose her holding the tiara, because she does use it as a weapon in the movies. So I'm going to show you that pose now, but I'll explain to you how I got that tiara on the head. What you do is get your forefinger and thumb, lie the figure on its back, right? Take the tiara and position it over the head, and that's the area I positioned it in. You can technically get it a bit lower than that, and once you've got it there, you just squeeze your forefinger and your thumb against the side of the figure's head, and it does stay there. But a lot of people think it's too fiddly and think it's pointless, but I do think it's fine. It's not cemented and secure, but it stays in place and you can pose it. So I'm going to show her posing out with the tiara in her hand, and then we'll move on to the other two Wonder Women. So let's move on. So this is just a quick one really, because I just wanted to show you her holding the tiara in her hand, as you can see. And it has a little bit of flexibility, that tiara, so you can, you know, squeeze it in a little bit more, but I don't risk it because I don't want to break the thing. But that's the whole point. You need to take the tiara off the forehead so you can get into some poses like she does in the film. But overall, I do think this is a good Wonder Woman. I do think it looks like her, and I do like the way she looks. So we're going to bring out the other two Wonder Women in their original formats with the weapons they came with. So I thought I'd deal with this figure first, and that's the back of the figure with that kind of bearskin, I would presume, cloak. Very well detailed. I'm a big fan of sculpted cloaks. And that other katana sword, you can see that holstered there, but that's not the sword that should be in there. So I'm going to show you her with the sword, and I'll bring out the other Wonder Woman figure as well. So I've just got these two out, and let's come to her first. Now this figure, it's well designed. I like the costume and everything, but it doesn't leave a lot of room for articulation. And the problem is, unless you get the pose right, she is prone to toppling over, which is why I've got those 2-foot stands. But that's kind of how she came. And I've left in the katana sword round the back, as you can see there. But that's where the sword she's holding in her hand would go. But she's good to pose, and she does look good, but she's well fiddly. And I don't often pose this figure a lot because of that fact. Now coming over to this figure, I do like this figure slightly better, simply because of the look and that sword. But that sword, if you look at where she's gripping it, the hand doesn't hold the sword very well, which is why I've positioned the sword upright. So in order to get more dynamics with the sword, you'll have to put some blue tack there just to hold it in place. But overall, these two figures are nice to display, and I haven't displayed them with any other figures. Like my Wonder Woman, of course, I've displayed her with the Justice League, my Gal Gadot Wonder Woman, but these two, they're kind of randomly placed around my home in my collection. So what I'll do is I'll bring out Gal Gadot with the accessories she came with, and have her in a pose with one of the lassos of truth. So I've got them all back now, and come to her first. She is very, very tricky. You've got to get the balance of this figure right. I've got some movement going on there, but she's well capable of toppling over. Not my best pose, but I'm trying to show you guys what she looks like if you get her looking a bit more dynamic. As I say, I love the figure. I do like its design by Todd McFarlane. I don't know the relevancy or the backstory of this figure, but I do like it. And it was cheap. And you know me, I'm all about a bargain. And then on the other side, I've had to do, as I said before, kind of put a bit of blue tack where she grips that sword, so you can create more dynamics. Don't like to heat things up or do anything like that, so I just keep it simple. But again, this is probably my favourite one of the two you're looking at, and she does pose well with her accessories. But this is Gal Gadot, and she's got the tiara back on her head. As I said, once you work it out, it's not a problem. It doesn't have to be an issue. I know it doesn't look technically correct because it's more on her forehead, but I think Todd McFarlane had to make a couple of sacrifices in order for it to kind of appear like it does in the film. But then you can take that tiara and pose her with her using it as a weapon. But that's the lasso of truth that she also comes with. So I'm going to put these guys into one more pose and leave it there. So before I bring the other two out, I just wanted to show you in her one more pose. When you saw her at the beginning of the review, the shield was on the back of the figure, and you can do that by wedging the hair between the body and the shield, and it does stay there. There's no pegs to stick it on, but I thought I'll get her into this pose, sort of a combat pose. And there's the artwork of the box the figure came in, and I love my artwork. So that's Gal Gadot, and as I say, I know the tiara can be a pain in the butt, but I think it's good that you can take that off and have her posing it in weapon mode. But I've seen the other versions where the actual tiara is moulded on, but this is my personal choice, and I will now bring out the other two figures for you to end this review. So here they are for the final time, and I'll come in to Gal Gadot Wonder Woman, and that's the pose you've just seen. And this pose is pretty much the same, only the katana blades are now back in her hand and the other one is attached to the back of the figure. So that's pretty much the way I'm going to display her anyway. And the fiddly one was this one. Now that lasso of truth does come with the figure, but you can't have her holding the sword and the lasso because, as you can see there, it's a messy job, but you can do a better job than that. I've just got a bit of blue tack just to hold that position there, and the same for the sword, but I can do it neater than that, but I've just done it quickly for you guys just to show you the alternative to heating up the hands and all that nonsense. So overall, I can't see me getting any more Wonder Woman figures. The only one I'm tempted to get is the one I grew up with, Linda Carter, I think it is, the 70s Wonder Woman series. I believe they're going to make a version of that. I have seen some of the figures where she appeared in the comic for the first time, and I do like that look. But if they do a Linda Carter one, and you do see Linda Carter appearing in Wonder Woman 1984, if you've watched that film you'll know the one I'm talking about. But that's a woman who's now 70 something, and when I saw her in that film she still looks damn fine. So that's the Wonder Woman sort of debate over and done with. As I say, I wanted to pose out the other two Wonder Women that I've got, but I wanted to tackle the issue of the tiara. So it's up to you guys. Tiara moulded on or tiara loose, it's your choice, but I'll go for this one every time. And I do think it's a good version of the figure. Some people have all these criticisms about ball joints and the way the legs look, but I don't have an issue. And these were all bargain prices, I didn't pay full retail. So on that note, I'll say thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.